Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Wednesday edition, always brought to you by Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Remember, get over there, stop in and see Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the crew as they're giving you an opportunity to walk away with a brand new Chevrolet Spark that we could fit inside the undisclosed location. We're calling it the Go Spark. We appreciate our people over at Go Chevrolet, online, JordyCulottaShow.com. If you have not entered the Just Winging It Bracket Challenge, you are closing in on tip time for March Madness, and that'll be the cutoff on Friday morning. Make sure you get your brackets in. Chance to win gear from the Jordy Culotta Show. Chances to win gift cards from Just Winging It. And if you can fill out a perfect bracket, you can walk away with a brand new car from Go Chevrolet. Every day, our coffee is presented by Majestic Coffee. Our phone lines are open and will be popping today as we will be talking to Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois.
Jean-Paul.
Coming up at 8:30. If you've got food questions, remember, hop inside of the bunker now and get your questions asked for the chef, as we will ask him at 8:30 this morning. Brad Johnson, Super Bowl winning quarterback Brad Johnson, is going to be here at 8 a.m. as yesterday Coach Ed Orgeron met with the media following day one of on-the-field practices and said that Max Johnson taking the snaps.
Let's go.
First team snaps. Only one quarterback on campus, Coach Orgeron said, that is 2-0 with the record after last season's win over Florida and Ole Miss as a starter for Johnson going into his second season, taking the majority of the first team reps yesterday with LSU getting on the field for day one. Does it mean it's a starter going into fall? No, it doesn't. There's a long competition before game one, but it gives you an idea where the coaching staff's head is at on the field after day one. We'll talk to Brad Johnson coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. Always enjoy our conversation with Johnson. As look, his younger brother, Max's younger brother, Brad's youngest son, Jake Johnson, is fast, rapidly growing, rising up the recruiting charts as one of the best tight ends in the country. And LSU obviously going to have a major inroad there with Max being the quarterback at LSU. So we'll talk to Brad Johnson at 8 a.m. and then Will Wade will check in from Indiana this morning as Wade and his crew gone through the 2 days of quarantine and now will be on the floor and will get the schedule before they tip it off, and a little bit of a scouting report, as Wade is very familiar with Mike Schmidt and the Bonnies, as he was able to face against those guys twice when he was coaching against St. Bonaventures at VCU back in the A-10. So we will talk to Coach Wade coming up here at 7:30 this morning, as Coach Wade will check in from Indianapolis before game one on Saturday. A lot of stuff to talk about with NFL free agency. Katie is back from the fishing trip, settled back at home. Everybody good?
Wait,
Got a full crew.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I know you were, but it still felt like you were a little flustered from the trip.
I'm still rocking.
The boat was still rocking.
I really am. I'm still rocking when I close my eyes.
Nobody here wearing green on St. Patrick's Day.
No.
And I'm a wee bit Irish, too.
I mean, is that
My
like
options
when?
are slim.
It's a really
When am
bad
I?
look.
Yeah, you're
When am I the guy?
on brand.
I mean,
Well, I mean, what is it? What's under there?
just a green T-shirt.
That could be a Dickie for all we know.
No, I mean, it's a green T-shirt.
Prove it.
I mean,
Prove it.
da, 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 da,
No,
da.
it's just solid green.
Manscaped.
It's green though.
Yeah.
You know what I
It is
mean?
green, you're right.
On St. Patrick's Day. The best day that Baton Rouge can offer to the community was taken away once again by COVID, even though our boys over at Beauvoir Park are partying and giving us a chance here in the capital city. But happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. A lot of pinches happening inside of the undisclosed
no
location.
pinching.
Oh, yes. Lots of
There's no
pinching happening on
HR issue.
See me.
Aren't I
Well, she's HR.
Yeah, well,
pinching.
got to go back and forth. LSU baseball, K. Doty's a monster, man. Tigers won. It felt like Maneri was kind of setting up the L yesterday.
He was?
When he was
Yeah.
here. I mean, yesterday and a little hit
Downplaying
here at
it.
8:30.
Tempered
We
expectations.
were talking about the 8 wins for Southeastern going into last night's game. I mean, he comes out and says, "Look, you're going to get the best effort from the Lions. A lot of these guys wanted to play at LSU, and it was a good game. but LSU won it 6 straight and it was able to improve to 15-3 on the season with a 10-7 win. Kay Doty and Hayden Travinsky combined for 8 ribbies on Tuesday night as LSU got the win, and that sets up a showdown. And we got a little in-show betting here with Mississippi State in town this
that's what he
weekend.
was referring to when he was setting up for the loss. I thought he was referring to this
Oh,
weekend.
get
series.
out of town. That's a pinch.
Honestly, I did. I mean, we'll see. I'm not trying to call the game or anything, but
Tweet it.
I will definitely tweet it.
Yes, it's going to be a hot ticket.
I know.
Yes,
This stuff,
absolutely.
I mean,
No
with
question.
only 50% capacity, you think?
I still have not received an invitation, though, from...
Well, I mean, Charles Harvey's going to be our inroad on that
Charles.
over at Metropolitan
Getting a
Health.
suite.
Yeah, we'll send a text out
The
this
only
morning
way
see
I
if we
like to
can't
go.
slither
I'm not
into
gonna
the
sit
into the
I'm not gonna
suite
sit in
there.
the seats.
Gonna be a
exactly.
rough road for the student ticket crowd. I'm not
Yes,
sure
it
how
will
I'm gonna
be.
get that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get that.
That would be a tough student ticket with 50% capacity.
is
I mean,
exciting,
if the
though.
weather is right, you think about Mississippi State, LSU, and I mean, there would potentially probably be 11,000, 13,000.
It would be
out there.
packed.
I mean, it would be
Full house.
arm to arm.
Yeah, everybody,
out there
standing
this
room.
weekend. Huge weekend for LSU with an enormous test against this Mississippi State pitching staff, this Mississippi State team that is, right around hovering number 1, number 2 in the country, no matter the polls you look at. LSU starting pitcher last night, Will Helmers, earned the win. He worked 4 innings, no walks, 3 Ks, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, only 50 pitches. As Maneri said afterwards, he was on a pitch count, obviously. So we'll see what the weekend sets up for with LSU Mississippi State, but that will be a great scene at Alec Box Stadium. You wish that you could fill it up to 100% with 50% capacity, but Mississippi State will be in town this weekend for a 3-game series starting on Friday.
Good weather, too, right?
Hopefully. I mean, there's bad weather coming today, and hopefully that stuff clears out of here before the weekend gets here.
And I think 50% is even going to feel full, because we haven't seen, it's been 50% for like the last 2 weeks, but it hasn't been full capacity 50%. Like we're not knocking the doors down.
Yeah.
So I think this weekend you're going to see what 50% looks like. It's going to feel different.
It will definitely feel different. It's going to be it'll be a great scene for sure. But I mean, this would be one of those postcard weekends at the box.
Yep.
If you had full capacity.
Absolutely.
A devastating loss for the Pelicans last night.
God, that was rough.
I mean, like,
That was rough.
that was brutal.
Pels, man.
Brutal. They might have an issue, bro.
It seems like that we have one.
They
gotta-
might.
I mean, I'm talking about with the coaching. I mean, like,
yeah.
it's just not, it's not getting through. Damian Lillard had 50.
That guy.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
God.
I mean,
So
so
fun
check
to
this out.
watch.
Lillard last night surpassed 16,000 career points and 4,000 assists, joining just 3 other players: Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, and LeBron James.
Really?
Oh.
Dame,
Wow.
welcome to the Hall of Fame,
That's
bro.
rare
Right,
air.
he's-
I mean,
he's there.
he's an
That's amazing.
animal, and he's been a Pelican killer.
Well, Drew Holiday had him on lockdown in the
Yeah.
playoffs, and
Yeah.
then once Drew left down, he was like, I'm ready to bust ass against these Pelicans.
Lillard finished with 6 3-pointers, made a pair of free throws with a second left, which rallied. The Portland Trailblazers rallied from 17 down with 6 minutes remaining. Lillard scored 20 of the 50 in the final quarter. Check out this stat according to ESPN Stats and Info. This is disgusting. This may be a fireable offense alone. I mean, if I'm the brass and I'm looking at this, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, good Lord, it's almost like you had to try and lose the game. Entering last night, teams were 236-0 when leading by 17 plus points within the final 6 minutes of regulation in games this season. Pelicans led by 17 with 5:56 to go. Portland won the game 125-124, which makes that stat now 236-1 after last night for the Pelicans losing that game. I mean, for 3 quarters, they were on cruise control. I mean, just like owning that game.
Is it even an accomplishment to come back against the Pelicans nowadays? I feel like it's more like the expectation.
With a stat like that last night, I mean, they're there are ways to rally, then there are record ways to rally.
It's
and last night was something that, you will, people will talk about that forever. That was like a historical game.
Between that and the Suns game.
You'll reference that forever.
There's somebody somewhere that live bet the Trailblazers.
Oh, my God.
And just cashed a ticket.
There's also somebody that went to bed with probably 8 minutes left in the game.
Oh, it's even worse.
Thinking that I won the game and woke up and thought to himself,
whoa,
what in the bleep happened? Like, when I went to bed, we were up 20.
That account was green and now it's
I
red.
hate you, Stan Van Gundy. Pelicans got a huge problem with Van Gundy. His last press conference, I understand the theory of coaches speaking to their team through the media, but when you are consistently dumping on your team on the media and you've got young guys that I got to imagine, I don't know anything and I'm not around the Pelicans at a day in, day out basis. I don't cover the Pelicans. I've not been down to a press conference for the Pelicans. But it looks like his message is not getting through in the locker room. And then when you hear his press conference and him speaking with the media in public, a lot of the time there's a lot of, there's a lot of blame that he takes on to himself. But he also is not afraid to spread the blame throughout the team and the players and the public. And sometimes when your message is not getting through in the locker room and then you try to take that message out into the public, your team is going to lose you or you're going to lose your team. It never seems to work out when you speak publicly about what's happening privately. And not that he's called anybody out individually, because that's when it can start to just bubble over and boil over and blow up. It just seems like the message is being lost because they're checking out. They're not finishing games. And this is a young team that should be playing their best basketball right now, second half of the season. Going into the All-Star break, there was some positive momentum to take in. But, the way that they lose is very difficult to watch.
They're inventing new ways to lose.
Very hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch the way that they can lose a lead in the NBA. And I know that there's superstars everywhere on the floor every night that can go off and have a night, not like Damian Lillard can every night, but a night like he had last night. And, the Pelicans they have, it looks like they have a lot more issues than not being able to close games. It just looks like there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes or in the locker room that just ain't working out.
What about that game coming up Tuesday? Anybody going to that? I was looking at tickets for it last night.
Who is it?
Lakers.
Can you get tickets still?
Yeah, they put a limited number of tickets on sale last night.
I would definitely scoop that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good prices, too.
For sure.
I'm going to try to make that.
Zion, LeBron,
LeBron,
right?
But any chance to watch LeBron at this point in his career, especially if you have not seen him play.
You got to see
I
him.
never have.
You've never seen him play?
No.
Well, that's Picasso painting.
Yeah.
that is,
and he's a Pelicans killer.
That's Mozart.
Yeah.
It's revolutionary. Just absolute meccas of their trade, the best in their business, on their way out, or at least the better days or the most days of their basketball career behind them. But LeBron is playing at this level right now that you almost it's a better version of him, because he doesn't throw his body around, he doesn't bang his body around, and he still is he's the most efficient player in the league. He's the most efficient player in the league at 37 years old, 36 years old, playing at a rate that you could argue that he's better, like that he's more dominant.
It suits his skill set too. Like early on, he obviously relied on his athleticism because he was something we've never seen before. But his mental capacity for the game is something that's always stood out. And so when he gets to kind of dissect the game and play at his own pace, that's when he plays the best. Because he's as much of a scorer as he is, and he's probably going to be the all-time NBA scorer. He's a pass-first guy.
Yeah. Oh, he is the beautiful basketball prospect.
Really is.
Of LeBron James. When you break down his game, he's got it all.
Got it all.
He's got
Five
it
tool.
all. He's got it all. All right, looking forward to talking to Will Wade this morning as LSU will face off against St. Bonaventures coming up on Saturday, as the NCAA tournament is pretty much here. The number 8 seeded LSU Tigers going to be taking on number 9 seed St. Bonaventures. A lot of stuff's got to happen to get on the floor in Indiana, and we'll talk to Coach Wade about some of those protocols that the LSU basketball team is having to go through over in Indiana as they'll tip this thing off at Assembly Hall Saturday at 12:45. St. Bonaventure, not a deep team, and that's what I want to talk to Wade about and how he can possibly exploit this with his athleticism and his ability to press, three-quarter court defense that really kind of drives a team to play faster, to play a little bit over their skis where you can get them out and running and you'll have to dig into the bench. And that's where St. Bonaventure loses some of the advantage that they may have in this game. Just not a real deep. Whoa. Okay.
Dick's still in the brain.
All right. Deep team. As speak up. How was your evening?
Now it's my segment. I'd like to take this opportunity. Open up that closet. I'll walk right out.
It's going to be because look, this is a game of serious contrasting styles. I mean, think Les Miles' offense versus Joe Brady's offense. A team that wants to get out and run in LSU, play fast, get as many as possessions as they can and as many looks as they can at the basket, as many opportunities to score as they can create. And then on the other side, with St. Bonaventure's, they want to slow the pace down. They want to let the shot clock tick. They want to get down to about 7 seconds on the shot clock before they start to create some action and scoring. And they want to take the air out of the game. They want to make it a half-court game. And I want to talk to Wade about his confidence in his team there because I think they've improved in that aspect, especially over the last 5 weeks. I mean, we've talked specifically about the special teams aspect, and right now is not a good time to example that when you come out of an opportunity to win on an inbounds play, the SEC title, and you just can't get the ball in bounds and you have to create something from 20 feet. That was not ideal, but they have improved vastly in that department if you have watched them over the last couple of weeks, especially over the last month. They have become a team that is a threat to score inbounds or off the inbounds. Now, there's still examples of them not really moving or screening hard or working to get the ball, but they've improved there. Now, can they play in a half-court set if the game is dictated by St. Bonaventure? If the game is being able to force you to play in the half court. And the way that you do that, if you're St. Bonaventure, is you have to score.
Set your defense up on the other side. And
got to be able to make
game.
LSU take the ball out of the net and walk it up the court. Pass the ball in so you can get back, set your defense up, and let them attack you. I think that it's a fascinating matchup. When you look at the bracket, you look at the seeding, and you look ahead to Michigan, this is really the game that, and we'll talk Michigan when you get there, and we've talked about Isaiah Livers not being in the matchup and not being available for Michigan because of the stress fracture in the foot. So it's an ideal matchup for LSU. When you look at St. Bonaventure, it's a contrasting style of slow versus fast, of pass the ball, work the ball offensively for St. Bonaventure to try and break down the defense to find the easiest and most effective shot, the most highest percentage shot that they can take. LSU wants to get out and run Cam off of one pass, get the ball to Trendon Watford in the low block, let him go to work, let Darius Days go up and set up off of a penetration and pitch off of Javante, let him set up on the three-point line. You don't expect to get back-to-back performances like you saw from Days the last time out. One thing that stood out from Days, and I think that was Coach Brady that pointed that out here when he was here his last time, is that sometimes when Days, when he has those types of nights where he struggles offensively and he can't score it, he checks out completely. He still had 8 rebounds in that game, and big rebounds, which created second-point opportunities for LSU offensively and some pretty nice big defensive rebounds to set LSU up. And you're not going to get – I just don't think that Days will struggle like that in back-to-back games. I think he's too gifted offensively. And we'll talk to Wade about that because Wade does a tremendous job of the mental coaching aspect of basketball. So getting down to the bottom of Days mentally is something that I imagine that Wade has taken on since since that last matchup, that last time out versus Alabama. But when you look at St. Bonaventure, when you look at LSU on paper, I mean, it is oil and it is water. It is as contrasting of styles as you can find. Now, there is a familiarity with Will Wade and the program. He came from VCU. He played and coached in the A-10 for 2 seasons. He went up against Mike Schmidt and St. Bonaventure's 2 times. He's 2-0, but they were classic games. And Wade's got tremendous amount of respect for Schmidt. In fact, we always talk about shows and platforms that we steal from, Dan Lebitard and his crew being the most prominent. Wade has been very open about stealing ideas from Mike Schmidt, whether it be offensively or whether it's defensively. I mean, you can tell the respect that Wade has for this program. So I think it's going to be a tremendous matchup. I think that it is going to be, like I said, it's going to be one of those, a high-rated defense, and St. Bonaventure's defense. I mean, one of the top defensive teams in this tournament as far as the numbers go. So it'll be one of these games that, what gives? This high-pressure offense that can score and blow up and give you 110 on any given night. Yeah, on anybody. I mean, if Cam is on, if Trendon's working in the paint, if Darius Days is making shots, if Javonte Smart's getting to the rim, if he's knocking down from the outside, I mean, they could blow up and get 110 in a blink of an eye. But St. Bonaventure's comes in here as one of the top defensive teams, only allowing 62 points a game. Oof. And they're veteran.
Oh, well, that's a classic March Madness team, dude. I mean, once you get that 8-9 seed, you got four-year guys that are, probably predominantly white that wanted to stick around and make an NCAA tournament run.
St. Bonaventure, Atlantic 10 this year, their defensive effort as they allowed the lowest field goal percentage in the entire conference. I mean, they are they're savvy, they're older, they're long, and they're a matchup that LSU. I know, obviously, and this is going to be, a dumb statement by saying, but they've got all of LSU's attention. I mean, just everything that they do terrifies you because of how they're made up. So I can't wait to talk to Wade about it here in a couple of minutes. We'll go up to Indiana in 5 minutes, and remember, every time we talk to Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's always brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Our good friends Anthony Piazza, who was had a chance to get up to Nashville and see that game on Sunday, that classic game between LSU and Alabama. Had some great stories from the trip up there, but went and saw him a couple of days at lunch. Great raw oysters, great char-grilled oysters over at Phil's. And remember, it's the Lenten season, so they've got a great seafood menu that they have to choose from on Fridays if you want to stop in and see Anthony Piazza over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Southdown Shopping Center is where they're located. They're online. They got great social media as well. Phil's Oyster Bar is if you want to find them there. But stop in and see them at lunch, especially on Fridays. If you're looking for a great Lenten choice, stop in and see Phil's Oyster Bar, a great supporter here of the Jordy Culotta Show. So we'll check in with Will Wade here in a couple of minutes. As Katie, you were so we were talking a little bit about the rain, and it's coming here today.
I just got the email from school about early dismissal.
No,
just now, just right this
What
second.
School?
Episcopal.
Okay.
I haven't gotten the Mercy one yet, but
well,
I mean they're all going to follow suit.
You just let me know when you get that Catholic school email.
You know
it's
going to happen. 1 o'clock.
Don't you do it, Dr. Palmisano.
Oh,
he's going to do it.
Early dismissal.
You know what it is.
What? That's public schools. Public school.
Yeah.
It's all these Irish Catholic folk that want to get out for St. Patrick's
Day. Well, I get that.
There you
get
go.
that.
So they're like, oh, raining? Green beer?
Yeah, right.
Let's go grab one.
Let's get in the streets.
Yeah. Cafeteria's going to be
Katie,
popping.
you got a great rain jacket.
I do.
Southern Marsh.
I'll grab it.
Yes.
It's over
and
there.
we want to start telling people about our merchandise.
Yeah, y'all.
Nick,
the
update them on the store. What's the store's website?
Jordy.itemorder.com. Jordy.itemorder.com.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all got to get in there and see the Southern Marsh stuff. They have lightweight spring hoodies and then this raincoat.
Can I get one of those?
Is awesome.
Absolutely.
I want one of those really bad.
I mean, how awesome is this?
That's high quality, too.
It is. It's Southern Marsh.
Yeah,
It's high quality.
We're not playing around
The
here.
polos are my favorite.
It's amazing.
I love the polos.
Yeah, so get in there. Get to ordering.
All right, let's go up to Indiana here with Coach Wade, as we will check in with the head coach. We still all good on Bluetooth over there, Lizzie?
Yeah, you're blue.
All right, brother. All right, a little early here.
I mean, you know he's awake.
He likes the prep.
Hey.
Hey, man, you good?
Yep.
All right, we're live. How are you? Good morning.
Good to see you.
How are you getting the runs in?
Oh, we got out of quarantine late last night. So we got all our negative tests back last night, and so we were able to get around and go shoot last night from 10 to 11, and then I was able to reserve a treadmill this morning at 6 a.m. So
nice.
I was able to get on the treadmill this morning, which wasn't bad.
What has this whole process been like the last 2 days, playing an intense game like you played in, and then kind of waiting to get on the floor?
It's been interesting. We needed the rest. We needed the break. Obviously, the game Sunday took a lot out of us. The game Saturday took a lot out of us. The game Friday night was physical and took a lot out of us. So we needed the break. We needed some of the some of the rest. And so I think the days have been good. But we're going to get back after it. We're going to get back after it today. We're going to head over to Bloomington this afternoon and practice at Indiana, and where we'll play on Saturday.
Were they able to get treatment over the last 48 hours?
No, they've just kind of been resting in their beds and getting some sleep and that sort of thing.
Coach Will Wade joining us from Indiana this morning as his Tigers set to take on number 9, St. Bonaventure on Saturday at 12:45. Before we look forward, take me back. That was a classic on Sunday, man. Your intensity after Javonte Smart's three-pointer, I still get chills in watching that back. I know that was a tough loss for your group, but they obviously played hard. Take me back to Sunday and kind of the emotions of that one.
Well, first off, I was proud of our guys. You know, we haven't been as consistent as we need to be all year, but I thought last weekend at the SEC tournament we were very consistent with how hard we played, how we prepared. To do that on a short turnaround, on a quick turnaround was very, very impressive. And so, it was a heck of a game. It was one of the best games I've ever been a part of in all my years of coaching. It was just intense, back and forth. I thought players made great plays. I thought both coaching staffs made great adjustments. I thought the officiating was really good. I mean, I thought it was just a well played game, an intense game, and we just the ball rimmed out at the buzzer for us there. But it was a great game. It was an exciting game, and hopefully it'll be something we can carry with us here into March.
Do you talk in between a game like that where they give you everything they got and seeding about expectation? Do you talk anything about that?
No, we just kind of move on to the next. You got to move on to this is a totally different tournament. St. Bonaventure is a totally different matchup. There's a lot of different things. So no, we don't spend a lot of time, living in the past or going back over that or talking about, externally what's going on. It's really just what we've got in front of us. And so, we've started and finished all our prep basically the last 2 days for Bonaventure. Now we've got to get all that information to our guys over the next 3 days.
I know Mike Schmidt is somebody that you have always respected, and obviously has always been somebody that you've competed against in the A-10, but somebody that you've always watched his program and kind of cherry picked from. What do you see from this St. Bonaventure's team going into Saturday?
Well, they're tremendous. They're great offensively, like they always are. I always joke he's got more plays than Shakespeare. His play sheet's just ridiculous, and he runs a ton of stuff, and it's all good stuff. It's a lot of misdirection stuff, things that we haven't really guarded. So we're going to get a crash course. You can't go over all his plays. You just got to go over some of the basic concepts and some of the basic things that he does over and over again. And so we're going to start drilling down on that over the next couple of days. But they're a lot, they're tremendous defensively. They've got one of the premier shot blockers in the country. You know, I watched the game. He blocked 9 shots in a game this year. I mean, he just pins everything. And so they're very, very good defensively. They're very, very deliberate with their pace. They're very, very deliberate with how they play, which is a trademark of his teams. And so it'll be a big challenge. I mean, they're a team that will come in. You know, they would have come in top 4 or 5 in the SEC. That's how good they are. They've got tremendous guard play. They've got kind of old school Big East guards, and they've got an electric, NBA type rim protector. So they're a very, very good team, and it'll be a big challenge for us.
All you guys want to dictate the pace from a head coach's seat. You guys want to have control over how the game is played at the tempos it's played at. You want to play it faster. He wants to slow it down. What's the coaching style going in, the mindset going in of really going into a game where this is 2 contrasting styles of pace and you want to play faster?
Well, you've got to try to, find different ways to speed the game up, find different ways to maybe make them uncomfortable, make their timing on their plays a little bit off, make their timing on their cuts and ball reversals a little bit off. We've got to find ways to do that. Just throw them off rhythm. If they stay in rhythm, they're a very, very difficult team to guard, and so we've got to find a way to just throw them off rhythm a little bit.
Darius Day's last game out, the 8 rebounds I thought were huge offensively. Obviously, not his best day. How do you work on him mentally, and what are your expectations from him going into Saturday?
Oh, he'll be fine. He's bounced back, and as long as he plays hard, the offense, the shooting will come. So he's bounced back a bunch of times this year, and I think he'll be fine and ready to go on Saturday.
Your guard play on Saturday from Javonte, and really over the last 2 weeks, Coach, or 2.5 weeks. What have you made of how he's played and kind of how he's led the team? I mean, the shots that he was hitting on Sunday, they kept getting bigger.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing tremendously. Cam's been playing tremendously. Trendon had a great game. So, Hyatt stepped up for us, made some big plays. Gaines stepped up and made plays for us this weekend. LeBlanc's had his moments this year. We've got to have all those guys, and we know what Days can do. Like, we've got to have all those guys firing on all cylinders, if we want to stay in Indianapolis for a while. And so that's the next step for us, is to get those guys, all playing together, all firing on all cylinders together. And if we do that, we'll be able to stick around here for a little bit. But Javonte just played tremendously all weekend, played tremendously on Sunday. Hit some big shots to keep us in that thing.
How do you pack for this trip?
We've been gone a while now. I think today's a week. So it's we can do laundry. Our managers do a great job. We got great folks that are working around the clock. So you pack up and get ready to roll.
What about the family requesting the tickets? I mean, will they be having access to come to these games? Yeah,
families have access. I just sent an email out yesterday. We have a limited number. I think we get 200 tickets total for the games in Indiana, and so I'm not sure how they're all doing that. I think the players get 6 each, and we get. I don't know how it all works,
sure.
but no, we do have some families coming and some folks coming, but our players can't see them. I mean, our hotel is a fortress. They've got barricades outside. They got police officers outside. I mean, you couldn't get in this hotel if you wanted to. And so, you won't be able to see anybody, just see everybody from a distance. I haven't seen my wife or daughter in a week. Wow. I saw them from a distance in Nashville. My parents were in Nashville, obviously. So, it's a little bit different setup, but hey, we got to do what we got to do to play the tournament, give ourselves a chance to compete.
It feels like a cliche, especially in our business, to say college basketball or basketball teams want to be playing right at the right time. I mean, it doesn't feel that way with your squad. It feels like both mentally and when you're watching you on the floor, you guys are just playing right at the right time. How do you feel about your group just right now?
Yeah, I feel like we've done that the last 5 games, I think, starting with Vanderbilt, then to Missouri, then the SEC tournament. But just because you've done it for 5 games doesn't mean you're going to do it Saturday at 1:45 here, or 12:45 back home, 1:45 here. So, we've got to ensure that it carries over. It's not just a natural carryover, 100% gonna carry over and happen. So we've got to make sure that there's carryover with it, and that we that we put the right things into it. I thought we prepared well. I thought there was a formula that we used at the SEC tournament that worked extremely well, and I think we need to flip that and use that and stay in routine with that here in Indianapolis.
Does it feel different in March? Does it ratchet up for you guys?
Oh yeah, everything's a little bit different. There's a different level of intensity, different level of focus, and you've got to be locked in on every detail.
It's great to hear from you. I know that you go into preparation. What's the schedule like today moving forward?
Well, we already took our COVID test this morning, and then we've got breakfast here in a little bit. We've got some meetings. I got some media stuff, and then we got practice this afternoon in Bloomington. So it's about an hour and 10-minute ride over to Bloomington from here. So we'll get on the buses and head over there, get us a workout in, stretch our legs out a little bit, and then get back here, have some dinner, and start our preparation.
Nice. I'm squaring off with Dickie V again. You guys go get the win. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, how about that guy?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
How about this? He flat out lied to me. He told me on the phone the night before. I talked to him, talking about our team and stuff, and I'm not going to bring anything up. I'm not going to bring it. I said, okay, I appreciate that. That's nice. Then I get like 100 texts after the game. Unbelievable.
He had a graphic. They talked about it in pregame. Yeah. I mean, it was planned.
Yeah, well, that's not what he told me the night before, I can tell you that.
Boot up, man. Go kick ass. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
Right, see you. There's Will Wade checking in from Indiana this morning.
Did you say love you?
I did. I snuck that in there.
I was like, wait, who?
He probably thought it was me. It's all good. How about that?
I mean,
Dickie V.
Is that just not par for? Oh, yeah. Is that not par for the course for Dickie V? Oh no, we'll take care of you. You do a great job, Coach.
I would never say anything about you, Coach. I would never do that.
Me?
Have you seen my book? You want to buy it?
Pepto-Bismol.
This guy, Dickie V. I love to hear that. There's Will Wade checking in from Indiana this morning. His crew getting ready off of 2 days of COVID testing, which means that they are all positive. They're all cleared to go. They will practice today.
Negative, they're not positive.
Well, no.
We're positive. I'm sorry. We're positive.
All positive news.
We're positive they're negative.
All positive news that they are negative, as the Tigers will practice in Bloomington today and get set for the Bonnies on Saturday. As Coach Will Wade checking in from Indiana this morning. As look, man, I think that Darius Day is going to be the key to this thing. I really do. I think when you talk about Days, because you know that you're going to get the production from the big three, and I feel confident in saying that. I feel like Cam is going to get his. He's going to get his 25 to 28. I think Trendon Watford, coming off of Sunday in the past couple of games, he's got to be feeling from a confidence level that there's not a lot of people in the country that can guard him within 6 feet of the goal. I mean, his offensive skill level with the ball in his hands on the low block to be able to create his moves and his finishing ability is right now, it's incredible. I mean, if he could finish at the line, he'd be one of the biggest threats in the game. I mean, because you couldn't foul him or he would make it around the basket. I mean, the play at this point is almost hack a Watford. You know what I mean? Like, put him at the line and make him earn it. And he's just not, he's not, he's just not been able to finish there. But Days, I mean, that Watford's going to get his. Cam's going to get his. Javonte, the way he's been playing over the last month, is going to get his. Days is the X factor. And I think that's why that stat is so glaring. The 16-1, the record, when Days scores in double digits. That's LSU's record. When he's scoring, the floor spreads out. Mm-hmm. You can't leave Days and go help on Watford in the low block. You can't help the penetration that Javonte's creating. You can't slide over and help that out because you can't leave Days if he's hitting. I mean, Days missed some shots the other day that he hits in his sleep. I mean, he hits with his eyes closed. I mean, they had a couple of shots where he squared up with his feet set, and there was nobody within 3 feet of him. You usually see that look on Days. You might as well just put it on the scoreboard. I just don't think that happens to him in back-to-back games. I just don't see how that could happen in back-to-back games to Days. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's too talented and skilled of a player, and I think it comes down to a guy like him because you know that Schmidt and St. Bonaventure's is going to be prepared for Cam, Watford, and Javonte. And with their defensive ability. And look, lowest shot percentage they allow in the A-10, allowing 62 points a game against a high-powered LSU offense that, you know, is feeling themselves. So, I think a guy like Days, man, he could really be the difference maker in Saturday.
And do you think that Trenton Watford kind of watches that film back from Alabama like, this is the way I should be playing all year?
I hope so.
Yeah, because, well, you know, he's been trying to, like, take the ball out, and he has the skill set where he can do that.
Not necessarily even Watford. I mean, I think the coaching staff needs to say and point out, like, get the red laser and point it on the screen. Like, Trenton, do not leave this area of the court. And as your teammates and as the coaches, it's our responsibility to get you the ball in that area. Because right now, you're indefensible. I mean, you're unguardable. And, you know, I mean, the thing I would be working on with Trenton Watford is get your ass on the free throw line and shoot 500 every day.
We got nothing else to do.
Nothing, man. I mean, get your mind right to finish these three-point plays, or if they go into a method where they're going to try to put you on the line, make them pay. I mean, make them pay. I mean, really, I would seriously consider with the way he's playing offense right now to just throw a couple of 6, 7, 8 guys, you know, 7, 8, 9 on my bench and just say, go get your 5. Go get your 5 fouls.
Just how you can help the team today.
Go beat the hell out of him, you know? And Stanton Dubois brings up Eric Gaines. I mean, Gaines has been huge, but this moment, this March moment, this tournament, like Wade just said, and Wade hadn't even been able to be here. I mean, think about it. He's been on the job for 4 years. This is the first time he's coached in March, let alone the NCAA tournament. I mean, they had the plug pulled in the SEC tournament last year. He was suspended the year before. You think he's motivated? But this moment is about to be high intensity. A moment like this for Eric Gaines, a true freshman stepping in who's played good minutes, solid minutes, extended minutes.
Energy minutes.
Those minutes are going to feel and start to shrink in the sense of the pressure and intensity is going to ratchet up. He's never played in a basketball game this intense. And a lot of these guys haven't. But I wonder how the true freshman will respond. Because he has been great. And he has been huge for LSU. But this tournament, man, this is as good as it gets in sports. And I can't stand the NCAA. There's nothing that I could say positive or promotional that would benefit the NCAA, except this tournament is awesome. And it can't get here fast enough. I don't know, why is it not starting on Thursday this year? I mean, the Thursday start date of the NCAA tournament may be the best day in sports.
Oh, talk about getting zero work done.
At all.
I mean, anywhere.
At all.
There'd be a class in high school with that on the
dude,
projector.
the teacher rolls
And if
it
I was
in,
a teacher, I would put it on.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just a holiday.
If I was a boss, I'd let him off. You know what I mean? Like, embrace it. You're not going to get anything from it. I mean, it's just a great day, especially, Lizzie, if the sun's out. You know what I mean?
Oh, my
Like,
God. Put it on 10.
85 degrees.
Sunny, and we're watching basketball.
We're in. But, I mean, like, why is that
because of
happening?
Testing protocols.
Is that right? Is that
Coronavirus
why?
testing protocols, yeah.
I mean, Corona just
mean,
has to rear its
come
head.
on,
Everything, every time you get something good going, like, well, why don't you take a beat for Corona?
Yeah. Sheesh. All right, well, looking forward to our next conversation. Brad Johnson is going to be here at 8 a.m. The Super Bowl winning quarterback, the father of Max Johnson. As you heard Ed Ogeron yesterday talk about the quarterback pecking order right now, as he was asked directly on who was taking first team snaps, and he said Max was working with the first team going into spring drills and on day one of spring drills. So we'll be interested to hear from Brad Johnson. We'll also get an update on Jake Johnson, who is the number one, or trending towards the number one tight end in the country, as
How
he's
old
up
is
there
he?
in Marietta. I believe he's going into his senior year.
Oh.
I believe he just finished his junior season. Or it could be a sophomore. We might want to check that
He's a
before we get
monster,
Brad.
though.
A monster.
He's a big old cat.
A
He's taller
monster.
than his brother is already.
I mean, some of the backyard workout videos that they were doing during COVID. I mean, people were like, commenting on the workouts, like, who's the college kid? Who's the college
he
tight
working out
end?
with?
I mean,
Yeah.
he was like a freshman in high school with with Brad Johnson and Max Johnson at the time. All right, let's reset here after a quick move in 45 minutes. Remember, if you have not gotten over to JordyCulottashow.com, you have a chance to enter the bracket challenge presented by Just Winging It. First, second, and third place prizes. We'll have some gift cards to Just Winging It. We'll also have some gear here from the Jordy Culotta Show that we'll be gifting away with first, second, and third place prize. If you can win if you can fill out a perfect bracket, game for game, if you can go for it in every contest, Nick Richard, who I see inside of the bunker right now, chatting inside of the YouTube bunker, Richard and Carney down at Go Chevrolet are going to hand away a brand new Chevrolet Spark, the Go Spark. As we're calling it here at the Jordy Culotta Show. So go see our friends at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com, as they're giving you a great opportunity to walk away with a brand new vehicle if you can fill out a perfect bracket. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by AdvantaClean. Our friends over at AdvantaClean, you can get in touch with Bradley Lynch. It's very easy to get in touch with Lynch. Just Google AdvantaClean Baton Rouge, and it takes you right to him if you want to get right to Bradley Lynch, because if you got to get to him, it's going to be a bad call, and I'll tell you, it's going to be a bad day as far as it goes, because it's going to be water, fire, and mold that are going to be around the house. Water in the carpet, on the floors, seeping through the roof. You got a leak in the ceiling. You see mold growing in. You smell smoke. You got a fire. You got fire damage. Bradley Lynch at AdvantaClean can help, and it's simple. 369-5228 is the phone number. 369-5228 is the phone number, or online at AdvantaClean.com. Get in touch with Lynch. Once you make that phone call, it's over. You're out of the way. It's, you just go worry about what you're going to do about the furniture, all that stuff. But as far as the reconstruction and getting the job handled, AdvantaClean is going to take care of it. 369-5228. 369-5228 with a 225 area code, AdvantaClean Baton Rouge. We come back, we'll close out hour one, set up for Brad Johnson, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, who will stop by here at 8 a.m. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with active pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
Have a late night and can't make it for the Jordy Culotta Show at 7 a.m.? No worries. Catch us on demand on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast.
How confident do you feel about your streaming service? Do you know if you have the right gear or not? Is Facebook and YouTube consistently letting you down? I now present to you WSN Live. WSN can help your church, your team, your community bring everyone together for one streaming service where there's no more equipment guessing, broadcasts that your audience will absolutely love, and a support team that you will have around the clock. WSN Live. Welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show. Good stuff from Willie Wade as they get set for round one of the NCAA tournament versus the Bonnies. St. Bonaventure tip-off 12:45 on TNT Saturday from Assembly Hall, be in Indiana, as that'll be the backdrop for St. Bonaventure's and LSU 8-9 seed matchup. Tigers favored by 1.5 going into Saturday's tip-off, as Will Wade stopped by here, gave us a little review of the last couple of weeks of LSU basketball.
Power, little
Hello.
power.
Hello. Little flicker.
That's the luck of the Irish.
A little flicker. But Wade at the end there, when asked about by Dickie V, Non-surprising to this show at all, but Dick Vitale lied.
What?
Yeah, right. Breaking news.
Richard, tell the truth, man.
Willie Wade, as Wade told the story, Dick Vitale the night before the SEC champion. I'll never bring up the allegations tomorrow. Don't worry about it, Coach. I won't say anything. Meanwhile, the graphics already built, Dick. Sheesh. All right. What about A-Rod and J-Lo? They sticking it out?
I don't know. He flew. She's filming a movie in the Dominican Republic, and he flew out there to work on their
Honey Two?
relationship. Honey 2. I doubt it's Honey 2, but they say they're trying to work through it because of their kids. So like the news broke, and
wow.
the children didn't know, and they have like a really great blended family. But what I didn't know
Is that why you want to save the relationship, though?
That's usually the last card to play,
I mean,
huh?
That's usually why a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, but that usually doesn't that
That
usually
means it's
never
over.
works.
Never,
It
works.
never
Never
works.
works.
No.
Never
But
works.
I didn't know this, and other people might have. But apparently, he's been canoodling with Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm.
Is this a local?
She's from the show Southern Charm.
Is that New Orleans based?
No, I think it's. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
No,
there is
I
a
think it's in
version of Southern
Georgia,
Charm.
actually.
Okay,
But I
okay.
don't know if that's like the New Orleans one or not. Or I guess she was filming in South Carolina when this happened.
Just goes
Okay.
to show,
Okay.
man.
So there's a lot of buzz about that.
So
but
disappointing.
She's really pretty.
Well, Jennifer Lopez
but
is
so
nothing to
J-Lo.
sneeze
No,
at.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying. Like, so apparently there is some speculation there.
Well, I mean, I think
Scandal.
that she signed a NDA, like a non-disclosure act,
She did. Yeah.
which I mean, like that is some high-level cheating.
Yeah. it
Right?
is.
I mean, like
It
that's
really
some less
is.
miles. I'm going to give you my phone, put your number in as an alias type pickup line.
That's
right? Like,
that's
I mean,
A-Rod cheating.
How do you have NDAs and you're walking around with them? Like, let me
like-
get my brief. Where's my NDA guy?
Hey, I'm about to slide in your DMs. Like, how do you set that up? Like, do you send the DM and say, hey, LaCroix, look, I think you're hot and I'm about to slide in your DMs, but before I do that, can you check this deal whether or not you would sign this NDA?
If
or
you thought you were
good?
turned on before, let me send you this NDA, and
Right,
then we'll get back to
before
it.
we start the sexting, you know what I mean?
Sign
Before
a
we
couple of
start the
these.
graphic stuff.
Initial here.
Will you sign
here.
this real quick? Can I get your signature real
Jet
quick?
over a PDF.
Yeah.
Like, you could sign that.
Here,
You're
turn
good.
around. You can use my back.
Yeah, twice.
That's just how does that work?
But they said though that they were maintaining that he never physically cheated on J-Lo.
Okay, so it was an emotional
It was a-
text. Was it emotional?
She's talked to him randomly.
So they're sexting. They're
Nothing.
mentally.
Yeah,
They're mentally
clearly they're
painting a
sexting.
picture together.
They're sexting. Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
I don't
fun,
know.
I guess.
TBD on if they work it out or not.
What do you
I
say?
do
I
feel
say
bad
no.
for the kids.
I
though.
say
They're
no.
all very sweet.
I've never had
like,
them walking down the aisle though.
No, I didn't
never
either.
thought that the marriage was going to happen.
No.
I think that they're too big of stars.
They don't need
Yeah.
each other.
I mean, why?
No, they don't.
Why do you need to do this? Why not just move in together and do the whole wedding thing when you know at some point you're going to have to publicly divorce?
Yeah.
I mean, don't they know that
I know.
within? Like,
Well,
who's
she's
really
done it 2
shocked?
or 3 times already.
Exactly,
so,
and so is he.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, like,
Especially
know,
for them, there's a
I know.
LaCroix around every corner.
like
this shit,
A-Rod,
you can't go out in
we
public.
know who you
I
are,
know.
bro. We know you're sliding into DMs. We know you got a wandering eye. You don't want to be married. You don't want to cut the cake.
I'm sure other people are going to come out now saying that he's been in their DMs.
Not with
too.
the NDAs.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're not.
Such a baller
No, they're
move.
not. I mean, there's some, you know what I mean? There's probably like 10 of them sitting around. I wish I could go public on his
That
ass.
wasn't worth it at all.
Let me call my lawyer one more time.
Maybe get in the tanning bed with him.
Hey, Richard, that NDA, will it hold up? Yeah, it's pretty airtight.
Hey,
It's pretty water sealed.
A-Rod Corp's doing just
That's
fine.
right.
Can't stop rumors and gossip.
I mean, so I'm not. I don't have them. I don't have them walking down the aisle. I don't think it works.
Paper Pirate said in the bunker, emotional cheating just seems more hurtful.
I
I
don't
would
even
agree
know
with
what that
that.
means, though.
The text,
Yeah, like
the
I
an
wanna-
emotional
the sharing the
relationship,
feelings, bro.
You know? Yeah.
Not just sharing the skin.
Yeah. There's a difference.
You know what I mean? Like,
Goes right over my head.
There's a different connection.
yeah,
there.
that's a man with a girlfriend speaking over there.
Lloyd's like, I have no idea what you're talking
Can I
about.
get
the
another
trash
cup of
out.
coffee,
Yeah.
please? Coming up in the second hour, we're going to talk to Brad Johnson. Looking forward to that conversation as Coach Johnson is going to stop by. He's a coach in his own right now after a 15-year NFL career where he played with Minnesota, he played with Dallas, he played and won a Super Bowl championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as he will stop by here in a couple of minutes. His son, obviously, Max Johnson, is the odds-on favorite. Or not, I guess you can't say the odds-on favorite because our Twitter poll had a decisive win for Miles Brennan yesterday.
Miles was like 84 something.
Wow.
This math doesn't check out, but I know for a fact that Max was 17. So Miles was whatever difference that was, and TJ was 2%. So, like, the poll did not reflect what was actually going on at all.
I'm sitting here trying to work that math in my head, and
It's
I mean,
like
I am
81%.
lost.
Yeah.
I am lost.
So I know for a
We
fact
know
Max
with the
was
mortgage
17.
questions.
I mean, the
So-
mortgage industry, bro.
So if
Ask me who's going to be the
So our
starter.
scale is 100. Our scale is 100, and Max was 17. Let's take 20 away from that, and you're at 80.
so this is why I majored in mass communication.
Exactly.
'Cause I don't have to take any
78.
classes.
78 for 78 for our boy, for
Miles.
Brendan.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure, I'll take
that's
it.
how we got
I'll
there.
take it.
One team that we left off of the mantle for Johnson. He played for the Washington football team too,
And the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, so I say, I mean, like you think
Yeah.
about the helmets on the mantle of the Johnson Council. I mean, you got the Cowboys, the Vikings, the Redskins at the time, Washington football team,
Watch yourself.
and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the only two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in Tampa Bay history is Brad Johnson and Tom Brady. So we will talk to Johnson here, as I'm going to dial him up right now. Lizzie, if you want to come to the
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth here,
Bluetooth.
as we will link up with Coach Johnson here.
Hello.
Coach, good morning. How are you? Little early. We are. Is that okay? Coach?
You got me?
Yes,
Sorry
sir.
about
Yes, sir. It's probably our fault. We're a little early. Is that okay?
that. Okay. Yeah, sounds
okay.
good.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
we're live. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's great to talk to you again as the one of two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks for the Tampa Bay franchise. The other being, wow, that sounds like a huge dog.
Sounds
Coach.
like a guard dog.
That man is celebrating the starting quarterback, Max Johnson, being named down here in Baton Rouge. We feel it, buddy. Two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in Tampa Bay's history, Coach. You and Tom Brady. That's got to be feel good with good company now.
How about that? That's pretty good, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, we were fortunate enough, and you know, one of the biggest reasons why I went to I'm actually putting my dog outside, guys.
All good, Coach. All good.
What's his name?
What is his name?
We have two dogs, Pearl and
Okay.
Lucy.
Pearl
So
and
when they see
Lucy.
strangers,
That
they
sounds like a
start
Lucy.
they start going. So
Yeah.
I like Seabiscuit, man of war out there. It's go crazy, but yeah, you know, it was really. I mean, honestly, in my career, I had a chance to be a free agent, and when I was in Washington, I was leaving, and one of the reasons why I went to Tampa was to win a Super Bowl with a team with a great group of guys, and some guys that ended up making Hall of Fame, and it was also to be the first quarterback to win in that franchise, and because they'd never done it before. And actually, last winter in Florida was Bob Greasy, 71-72. So it worked out. We had a great group. We had a bunch of guys that made Hall of Fame, Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp, and now John Lynch, and we'll have a couple more, hopefully with Vontae Barber and Sammy Rice. And you see, they had really made the playoffs in Tampa in 18 years.
Yeah.
And then what they did with the franchise, they had a great defense this year, scored 45 points in turnovers in the playoffs, 135 in the regular season, and then they added 10 free agents. It was a very similar year to what we did in 2003. Tom Brady came in, gave them stability in the organization, changed the culture, and had a great run. Especially they were 7-5 at one point, and got hot in the playoffs. So now, you know, they kind of obviously he's the best of all time, and Brady. But you know, there's two of us down there in Tampa now, so it's pretty awesome being that list.
That is cool, Coach. Can you take me back to? Because I loved, for whatever reason, I loved watching that 2002 Tampa team. Y'all had great swagger to you guys, but I always remember the series that always stands out with you in that group is those Philadelphia NFC Championship series, where you guys went up there and whether it was the divisional round or those playoffs against Philly. Where you guys finally got over the hump, where Rondé had the pick, and then I believe it was Joe Gervasius who had the big play that you hooked up with him. Can you talk about some of those games on the NFL level? Because when I think about you guys in that Super Bowl run, that's some of the series that I recall.
Yeah, when I think of rivalries and pro basketball, I think of the the Lakers and the Celtics hating each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls, and for us, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there was in the St. Louis Rams. Those were real rivalries. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
and Philadelphia, they had our number. They knocked us out of the playoffs the last couple of years, and that year they beat us early in the year, October 20th, up there. I broke my ribs, and they beat us like a drum. And at the end of the year, we got hot and went up there, played in the cold in Philly, and they had a bunch of guys that made Hall of Fame themselves now. And so we had a critical play early in the game, triple F, 83 double smash, X option. It was Joe Jaravicious. And we called him. I almost checked out of the play at 359 sticky for a 6-yard gain, and ended up, I thought they were going to blitz me and stay with the call. And he caught a 73-yard little pass right over the middle and changed the momentum of the game. Rondé Barber shut him down at the very end of the game, intercepted the ball, took it back to the house, and next thing you know, we were going to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So we had a great team. A lot of guys on the team were rock stars. You know, obviously John Gruden and Keyshawn Johnson and Rondé Barbers and Brooks, and I mean the whole list. You know, so we had those kind of guys, had that kind of swagger, and we finally put it together, and it was a great feeling. We shut down the vet, and then went on to San Diego the next week to win the Super Bowl. So, but you have to overcome something at some point. Yeah. And that was our biggest obstacle, beating Philly, especially up there.
The recall on that is unbelievable. Coach, is it 15-year career? Could you recall almost every play like that, or is it just the ones that stand out?
No, it was a 17-year career. I kind of get cut short two times because the way it goes. But no, it's all good. But you know, those plays, you don't really remember everything, but they're critical plays. They're life-changing plays, and you never know which one's going to count. You never know, and they go either ways, you know. So, but I just know we have a lot of guys that really cared about each other on that team. Great friendships that are lasting, and guys that went on to make their Pro Bowl players or Hall of Fame players. But there's a bond we'll all be stuck together for a long time. And you know, I remember in the Super Bowl there were critical plays for me. There was South right nickel 41 kill 374 wasp, and that was a play to hit Keenan McCardell for a 4-yard touchdown on a back shoulder throw, and weak right west 72 shake wide drive, halfback burst, and those kind of plays they mean something to you when they kind of get ingrained. And so I love playing for Gruden. Love those guys that we were able to play together. Can you make that call to Gervasius again? And just for our listeners, that's a Gruden play call. When you call it, what's everybody's responsibility? Like who are you speaking to? Like when you make that call. Are you speaking to the offensive lineman and all the you're speaking to the entire huddle, right? Yeah, it's a little bit different, I guess, from college and high school to pro, because pro you have the headphones, so you're able to talk to everybody in the huddle. There's more communication. And in college, you may just call and play zebra, and everybody just kind of knows what to do, you know. Mm-hmm. But in the pros, you got a personnel grouping, a formation, a shift, a motion. It might be U shift to green left west, F short, spire to U banana Z over heads up 358 smoke. Check H2 Miami. And so you always in those kind of dialogues and conversations of protections and audibles and those kind of things. So it's a grind, but everything means something. Everything you tell in every position kind of what to do. Jake Peets and DJ Mangus, when Orgeron went out and found the new offensive minds for LSU, he wanted personnel, guys that had grown up and been developed within the spread and the RPO offense. They say that these two guys are wizards within that offense. You've seen offense evolve now that you're coaching at the high school level. How simplified is it now, or how difficult is offense at the football level when you see it now on Saturdays? Yeah, it's always a game of numbers and angles, whatever that is. What's the box count? What are the angles of the block? It always comes down to, I mean, the simple things you talk about them, but it's everything. Taking care of the ball and blocking, tackling, execution, and getting short rundowns and the second medium, third and short, and then be able to convert and all those kind of things. I think what you see probably with a guy like Jake Peets, he has been around. He has the influences he's had. A Kyle Shanahan. Sean McVay. Todd Downing in Oakland, Sean McVay, his time at Alabama, his time with Joe Brady in Carolina, and then he has his own thoughts too. So
and I think definitely Sean McVay, it's probably someone you would hear he kind of recalls on that and had a heavy influence on him. And then John Gruden had an influence on Sean McVay. So, and then they had an influence with each other, and the systems kind of continue to grow, and he'll bring his own system, his own knowledge, and obviously there's a heavy influence from Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger that have been there before, and they'll piece it out. But what you want is smart people making right decisions and putting players in making positions that they can make plays, and I think you'll see that.
What about Max in the short off season that you've seen him kind of develop from being the starter the last couple of weeks of the regular season, getting 2 real nice wins versus Florida and Ole Miss to close it out? What's the emphasis for him in the short off season here going into spring from your point of view?
Yeah, I think it was great for the whole team. And then last year, Max got to play in the last 2 games. It was interesting. You're going to Florida, a team that's trying to win a national championship, a quarterback in Trask is trying to win a Heisman.
Yeah.
And then their season tanked after that game, being big underdogs and all that kind of thing. And LSU kind of fighting for moments, I think they fought for respect more than anything at that point for the season that took place. And so to win in the swamp and then to win a crazy game at Ole Miss and the raining monsoon in the second half, those kind of things. And so I think what was great for LSU, honestly, I mean, kind of not the recruiting they've done off the field, but kind of with bringing the guys back offensively. I mean, you're bringing back DeCulis and you're bringing back Shanahan and Hines. I mean, you're bringing back they were able to bring back their own guys,
right,
to recruit their own players. Whether they got the 5th or 6th year, but Max, he was excited about that opportunity to play at the end of the season, and then just the off-season programs. He loves meetings and practice time, and that's kind of what he thrives on. He's excited to be a part of the team, and I know they're off to a great start.
I love your point of view as a dad when you told the story about when you dropped him off and you just kind of got back to Georgia and you just waited to see how the competition went out. You're not a guy that calls up there or is around practice. How do you view this competition? Because it seems like one that's going to be fierce over the next 15 practices and even moving in to fall on who's going to be the starting quarterback for LSU next season.
Yeah, you want to. I remember being in the quarterback meeting room at Florida State. I mean, there's Casey Weldon, who's a runner-up to the Heisman. There was Charlie Ward, who won a Heisman National Championship, and Chris Winkie, and won a Heisman National Championship. Another guy was a first-round pick in baseball, and we all thought each other stunk, And so what you have is you have really, really good players and different ways to do it. And obviously they have some tremendous quarterbacks there at LSU. If they weren't, they wouldn't be on scholarship, So, but I think you just kind of let it play itself out, and you don't want to get too excited over, a throw here, a throw there. You want to see what you want to see is consistency. I don't know if anybody ever, like with Joe Burrow, just like a nice from bird's eye view, I don't know if they ever said wow on one particular play or wow. I thought they said was wow is consistency level over a period of time, and then they all make plays together. So I don't think you ever want to flash and pan. At that position, you want consistency and decision making first, accuracy, and then you lead your team. And not about words, but about play. And that's what they need to figure out as coaches, and they'll do that kind of thing over time.
How about an update on Jake? Seems like he's flying up recruiting charts as a top tight end in the country. How's it been with his development?
Yeah, Jake's in the weight room right now. He lifts 4 or 5 times a week. He's running 3 or 4 times. My arm's worn out from with him. So we have fun in the backyard. He'll figure it out in time. And it's weird for a lot of kids, the 2022 class and the 2021 class. Those kids that couldn't make visits on college campuses, but you're living on Zoom. You're living, looking at highlights of other coaches and kind of stuff like that. But Jake's doing great. Last year went to the state championship last 2 years in a row, and hopefully he'll have another good year. So we'll see. But he's excited about it, and soon enough he'll be on college campus.
Coach Brad Johnson joining us here, a stellar NFL career, 17 years. You see Drew Brees walking away after 20 with a Super Bowl win like you. What do you think of a career that Brees now just hung up on the shelf on Sunday?
You marvel at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want, true leader. I think it's about his grind. It's about his work ethic. It's about the way he impacted not just his team, but his city. He led them through Hurricane Katrina a long time ago, and that's his greatness. He just does it daily, and you just watch it, and the consistency of him. And I think to me, you don't want to get a list of names, but I mean, obviously you think of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and John Elway and Joe Montana, but Drew Brees set every stinking record you could to the QB position. Yeah. So it's just awesome. So I'm happy for him to go out on his own terms.
What did you think of the youth at quarterback in the NFL this year, specifically around like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, and the way that the future looks at that position?
Yeah, I mean, you just had the oldest guy win the whole stinking thing. So, so don't get away from the old guy either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think just the level of play, it's amazing to watch middle school kids, and they're going through no huddle, and they're going through 7-on-7 off-season camps and high school play and college play, and then to see these guys come in immediately like they have the success they have, it's amazing to watch. What's thrown at them at such a fast pace and a high level. But it's happening. It's the learning curve is happening in middle school and high school right now. And the guys are they're better than we were 15, 20 years ago. And but it still comes down to accuracy and making great decisions. But see some guys like that succeed, it's pretty amazing. I couldn't imagine when I was a rookie. I was like, I was the donut guy. Right. Bringing them in on Saturday morning. That was my role. But it's fun to watch these guys like they are.
Coach, didn't you played with Warren Moon, right? I mean, you saw somebody really into an extended time in his career. So, I mean, playing at this age for Brady and Breeze and even like maybe Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it's not unheard of, right?
The difference a little bit, not only the rules have changed a little bit, but what's really changed a little bit for a lot of these guys is I think the amount of work that they haven't had to do the 2 days for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
The all-season programs that start middle of March, now they're pushing them back, and the OTA days. So they've given and now you give guys, I mean, we did with Warren Moon, we did with Chris Carter, where they would give them a day off. So they were, you see with Larry Fitzgerald as a receiver in Arizona, like he may come back for another year, but they kind of ease back a little bit on the workload. And they're able to work with these guys instead of killing them all season long. So those guys are able to prolong their careers. So that's being smart as the general managers and coaches and making sure these guys play on Sundays, not just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in practice. So it's amazing to see how long they've extended their careers. But I was with Warren Moon, took great care of his body, played to, I think, 43, 44, somewhere in there. And so he was inspiring for me to be under him and then, to kind of learn from him.
Last one, we'll get you out of here. So appreciate your time here on this Wednesday morning. There were great shots of you and your wife inside of the swamp last year, living and dying with every play in that game. But nobody was in the stadium, right? And they expect 100,000 to be in Tiger Stadium and across the SEC this season. How much is you and your family looking forward to watching Max play in front of a full capacity stadium and watching that college experience happen for him?
Yeah, I think it was awesome that they just played. We played football last year with COVID. You know what I mean? They made it happen.
Yeah, right.
And it was awesome, and the way and having to do with the rules. But I do think for all the fans and everybody, the Tiger Walk, it means something. And then the stands of coming through those goalposts, it means something. And so you felt like sometimes last year was like coming to a spring game. You didn't know, it wasn't the same. But that's why you go to a school like LSU to play in front of 100,000, to play in big games like that. And so it's going to be exciting for all the players, all the parents, and definitely us. We'll be making that trip quite a bit. So looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, Coach, you had an all-time quote after you retired where you said you couldn't believe people were on the road on Sundays. You had to go to Walmart. You're like, I can't believe people aren't watching the game. So you don't have to worry about that in Baton Rouge, dude. Everybody's going to be eyes locked on Tiger Stadium. Roads are clear.
Ain't no doubt, man. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Always great to hear from you, Coach. We'll be checking it again soon. Thank you, as always, for the time.
All right. Very good. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. There is Brad Johnson checking in from Georgia this morning as his son Max. Yesterday, you heard Coach Ed Ogeron speak about who was taking first-team reps with LSU offense, and it was his son Max yesterday. So good stuff from Brad Johnson. Remember, our podcast is always brought to you by RMB Builders. Get in touch with Rhett Bourgeois and his crew over there at RMB, as Katie can give you a first-hand testimony on the quality of work that Rhett and the crew are always dealing out. RMB Builders, 921-7062 is the phone number. RMB-builders.com is how you get in touch with Rhett and his quality team over there. But look, if you need commercial construction, if you need custom design house built for you, if you need a remodel, if you need reconstruction, Rhett can help you out. RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois at rmb-builders.com, 921-7062, 921-7062. If you have a question, jump inside of the bunker. Make sure you get your food questions available. As we're about 15 minutes out from linking up with our chef. Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois from Duck Camp Dinners will stop in here just like he does every Wednesday at 8:30, helping us out with any food questions that you may have. And we'll also answer your questions if you have any for the show.
Are we going to see him again on video? Are we going to try that again?
We're not there yet.
Not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, don't even bring it
yet. Not there yet. Not there yet. But we are making strides here.
It's a lot harder than you would think it is.
Well,
we
it is,
got a brain trust coming in on the weekend, and it's just we can't figure it out.
But we are getting there.
So if you know how to do it, let me know.
We are.
I'll outsource this thing.
Subbing out to the audience.
I was sending texts to people that work at like audio visual places in Baton Rouge last night. Like, we don't know how to do that.
That's
Like, who knows how to do this?
Get in touch with Lloyd at Jordy Culotta Show. I'm looking at the numbers for the bracket. Very much humbled and appreciate the support here, as over 200 people now have logged in and signed up for our bracket challenge provided by Just Winging It. How could you not want the Go Spark? A perfect bracket gets you a brand new car. Remember, at GEAUX Chevrolet, Go Chevrolet, GoChevrolet.com is where you can find them. But if you log on to JordyCulottaShow.com, log into the Just Winging It bracket challenge, as first, second, and third place ultimate prizes will be given away here. Some gift cards from Just Winging It, some gear from the Jordy Culotta Show. If you fill out the perfect bracket, you get the spark. Do you have something?
Do anything for the worst bracket?
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
I'm sure we can come up with something.
Yeah.
I think whoever wins the spark, we should do a show from the spark.
Inside the spark.
You know,
Oh my
Inside
God.
the spark.
I mean, just kind of crammed in there.
Yes. Front and back seat. We're just in there.
But the
Microphone's through
perfect
the
bracket.
window.
How,
Yeah,
many,
Mike's through the
how many
window.
perfect brackets have ever been filled out?
Dude, I don't know.
None, huh? Has there ever been one?
I mean,
I'm
sure there's had to have been.
Let me outsource this to our research team that's not on location.
Didn't the year that North Carolina win it?
It
that was
says
the,
no one has.
Yeah,
Ever.
it says nobody's ever had a perfect bracket.
has ever had a perfect bracket, because the year that North Carolina won it, it was like all 4 number 1 seeds,
Chalk.
and I think like Chalk had like pretty much dominated the tournament. But there's always 1 or 2 upsets, right?
Says this article from August of 2019 that a neuropsychologist from Columbus, Ohio, was the first person to pick a bracket through the Sweet 16 correctly.
Wow. But
Miss
see,
me
it
with
wouldn't
that.
even strike me as like a brain surgeon that would get it right.
I know.
I mean, like it would strike me as like your
A
little
mom.
sister.
Yeah.
They got it right.
It always is.
It'd be
yeah.
Bob from Des Moines
Exactly.
that gets it right.
Exactly. I just, the perfect bracket. You get better odds of winning the lottery. Brent Semino says, which makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
I mean,
yeah,
when you think
with
about
the odds of it.
the odds of it.
I mean, I'd rather a Chevy Spark than the lottery, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a toss-up.
What?
That's why he's producing. That's why he's producing YouTube shows
And killing them.
at 28 and shoving them down the toilet.
You know, this thing was going good. Let me flush
Yeah,
it.
right. What happened to those 5,000 subscribers?
No, dude,
We hired Lloyd. That's what happened.
Lizzie went Lizzie.
Advantage. Oh man.
I can get him for cheap, guy. Easy call.
Chris Jarrell, I'm looking at my bracket now. There's no way LSU should be an 8 seed. I mean, Chris, it's a crime, bro.
Florida's
But
higher than us.
all 7 seeds
no
have
sense.
all 7 seeds that are higher than LSU. LSU has a net higher rating than. I mean, like, there's no explanation. Only that they're out to get Will Wade. You know what I mean? Like, call me conspiracy, call me that guy, call me his friend taking up for a guy. I don't care.
But look at what.
I mean, look
yeah,
at the
it.
facts.
Look at it.
Look
Open
at
your
the
eyes.
evidence. I mean, the guy, Trendon Watford, got thrown on his back on Saturday, going up for an and one, no whistle. Now, I will concede that there wasn't a lot of whistles throughout the week, but you watch LSU play at that SEC tournament. They didn't sniff a call. They didn't come close to getting a call all week. And it's going to be the same starting on Saturday. It might be worse. It could be worse on Saturday. I mean, if it didn't resonate with you when Carl Ravitch and Dick Vitale we've gone over this. I mean, they nearly sabotaged the program, and come to find out, Vitale was even ahead of it. He was on the phone with Wade on Saturday night saying he wasn't going to bring it up, only to bring it up with 12 minutes left in the first half. I mean, the hooks are out. Everybody wants a piece of Wade. Nobody wants his team around. Nobody wants him around. He is public enemy number one of this of the sport. Own it. Wear it.
He does it with a smile on
Hell
his face.
yeah.
He does.
8 seed, throw it up. LSU, where we need to be? Indiana? Bus up
Bloomington?
there? Not go home for a week? Not see your family, your kid, your family? Anybody? Don't know how long we're packing for? I mean, it's a joke at this point. I mean, it's laughable. And if you're LSU, that's all you can really do at it. If you're Wade and the players. I mean, seeing an 8 sketched next to LSU's name on Sunday, that was laughable. I mean, from the sense of, hold up, what are you talking about behind the closed doors? What's the purpose of the committee? So you can bring your personal feelings into the room and say, I hate Will Wade, make him an 8 seed, but his team's played better than an 8 seed. I don't care, make him an 8. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean, if that's the rules of what we're playing by, okay, I just didn't know I didn't know how that's how it went. But you know what? Shame on me to not think when the door closes and you got human beings behind a closed door, nobody and not anybody knowing what's being said or what's going on, for personal feelings to be spewed out. Right? Hold that room accountable. Hold minutes to those conversations. Let the public see what's the breakdown, what's the criteria, what are you discussing, what are you looking for? I don't like Will Wade, make him an 8. All right, cool, LSU's an 8. I mean, that's what it feels like. I mean, that's what it really is. You know?
Does that call come from the committee, or is that NCAA phoning in? Is that like the red phone in the room, like ring, ring?
I think there's probably at this point. I mean, 3 years in, it's probably already baked into the mindset. It's probably already cooked into the room.
Yeah,
of the people. Oh, it's NCAA.
Yeah,
I mean,
because without him, we were a 3 seed. When we made the tourney run,
it's definitely the NCAA. I mean, it's without a doubt. I mean, they feel embarrassed, right? I mean, they feel like this guy has, I mean, almost, like messed with him. I mean, like, he's dangling. He's just kind of like smiling at him, saying, "You can't get me," and they want to make an example out of him. And it's a shame because the team deserves the higher seed, and I don't think that you can argue that. Like Stutter Bob says, don't be that guy, Jordy. Debate me, Stuttered Bob. What's your point?
Stutter Bob.
I don't think he'll get to it very quickly.
You know what I mean? Like, tell me how you feel any different than that. If not, explain how they're an 8 seed. If you watched LSU play over the last 2 weeks, you believe that's an 8 seed?
Just can't make that argument.
And if they are, why? Why would they be? I mean, I don't want to be conspiracy guy. I don't want to say they're out to get us. I'm not that guy. I don't play that role. But in this instance, what else you got? They're clearly not an 8 seed. They clearly outplayed that seeding. And every time you turn around, there's a talking head, whether it's on a public platform, speaking on a wrap-up show, on a scoreboard show, on a college finals highlight show, or even the commentator calling the LSU game, talking about how they can't stand Wade and what his program is up to. And then they go to the committee behind closed doors and they're an 8 seed. I mean, what am I supposed to take away from it? What else is there? What else is there? I mean, the fact that Dick Vitale's still celebrating Rick Pitino. I mean, I texted Vitale in that text. Pitino was caught cheating on the Hawaii staff in 1978. He was caught giving cash to a player in a gym. Openly. Rick Pitino, fired from University of Hawaii for recruiting violations. I sent that to Vital. He hits me back, rumors, rumors, rumors. Is the text message, all caps.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Like, Dick, bro, I mean, I hit him with the Calipari. Go find the Final Four UMass banner. Go find the Final Four Memphis banner. Where is it, Dick? It doesn't exist because they had to swipe that off the deal because Cal was cheating. Just like everybody else in the sport, Dick. The one you love, care about, been applauding for so long, talking about Krzyzewski and Roy Williams and Bill Self. They're all cheating, Dick. Every single one of them. All of them. Krzyzewski moved Chris Duhan's mom to Durham. Got her a job. From Slidell, Louisiana in 2001. Allegedly. Allegedly. But fact check me. I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean, Dick Bite, that stuff's a joke. And for him to be individualizing LSU and Wade is at the least, and I know I've said this, man, and I'm tired of talking about it, really, because at the least it's unprofessional. It's amazing that ESPN allows for Vital to be on an LSU game, just for as simply as biased as he is.
Because he clearly can't avoid it.
He had to tell the head coach on Saturday night during the pre-production meeting that he wasn't going to talk shit about him during the game. That's how bad it was.
And then what did he do?
I mean, when do you ever see that? Like, hey, coach, I'm not going to bring up how I feel about you, or what I'm always talking about you. Like, all right, cool. You want to ask me about my team? You want to talk about the team that's playing for the championship? That's a joke. That's a joke that you allow that guy on the broadcast where he can spew his feelings and talk to prospective student athletes like that. Like, what a crime. What a crime. It just, that's absurd. And that he still defends it. Vital still defends it. That's a joke. I mean, we'll be back with Jean-Paul Bourgeois. Remember, over at Falaya Real Estate, Barrett Blondo is changing the concept of how you sell your house. He's putting the power in your hands. Barrett Blondo is over at Falaya. Everything else has changed. Isn't it time technology has made buying and selling your house easier and a whole lot cheaper? Introducing Falaya from Barrett Blondo. Virtual tours, push-button offers. Falaya's redefining on how real estate is sold. For more information, online, falaya.com, or get the app today. Download the Falaya app. You can get it Apple, Android, wherever you get your applications at. Download Falaya, Falaya. If you're looking to sell your house this spring, you're thinking about trying for sale by owner, then you need to check out what Blondo's got over at Falaya. Listing plans start at as low as $399. Sell your house by yourself, save thousands with Falaya. For more information, online, falaya.com. Your food questions next with Jean-Paul Bourgeois from Duck Camp Dinners. How confident do you feel about your streaming service? Do you know if you have the right gear or not? Is Facebook and YouTube consistently letting you down? I now present to you WSN Live. WSN can help your church, your team, your community bring everyone together for one streaming service where there's no more equipment guessing, broadcasts that your audience will absolutely love, and a support team that you will have around the clock. WSN Live.
A new episode of The GritIron Show with Whitney Bro is now streaming on YouTube and all podcasting platforms. We sat down with our girl Megan Making Money to talk sports betting 101, March Madness tips, and more about Megan's journey to the top of the sports betting world. Join us every Monday for a new episode of The GritIron Show and follow us on social media at GritIron Show for more.
Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in Laplace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in Laplace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Dr. James Johnson and Dr. Chad Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry, with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients, log online to johnsonspillers.com.
If you missed the show, you can always check out our podcast, brought to you by RMB Builders, on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you can listen to podcasts.
How confident do you feel about your streaming service? Do you know if you have the right gear or not? Is Facebook and YouTube consistently letting you down? I now present to you WSN Live. WSN can help your church, your team, your community bring everyone together for one streaming service where there's no more equipment guessing, broadcasts that your audience will absolutely love, and a support team that you will have around the clock. WSN Live. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. Remember, get your bracket in, JordyCulottaShow.com, presented by Just Winging It. Go Chevrolet, giving you an opportunity to win a brand new Chevrolet Spark. Get online at JordyCulottaShow.com. Remember, if you're going to New Orleans, you're coming from New Orleans, stop in and see Lee Carney, Nick Richard, Michael Divinity's down there. He's one of their top salesmen over at Go Chevrolet.
Why would you not want to buy a car from him?
Just easily located off the Laplace exit. Get over and see Go Chevrolet. Love our conversations every Wednesday with the chef, Jean-Paul Bourgeois, who is on the move this week. Duck Camp Diners, of course, Duck Camp Dinners that you can find on the Mossy Oak YouTube station, which is fantastic. Really brings you down to South Louisiana. And every Wednesday, he's with us right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, answering some food questions, checking in with us. Haven't tightened up the video just yet, big fella. We'll get that done hopefully soon, but it's good to check in with you. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? I'm just I'm actually beachside today, sitting in the shade of some natural beach grass and watching the Gulf of Mexico kind of roll in.
Oh, God, I wish I had that video.
All time set up just to tell us that. How y'all doing?
Terrible morning. Get our
IT on the phone now. Hey, chef, what is a Pouldeau?
Oh man, so yeah, my dad pronounced them Pouldeau, which is probably the right way to pronounce it. The Cajuns, we like to kind of shorten and say Pouldeau. Okay. But it's known as the North American coot. It's a species of waterfowl. It's not a duck, but it is a species of migratory waterfowl that migrates with ducks. Fun fact, they migrate at night, which is, I think, the only waterfowl that really, some of the only waterfowl that do that. They only migrate at night, not during the day. And that's probably because they're all black with just a simple white beak, and they're not really great flyers. And so it probably gives them a little extra advantage to get to their next migratory spot, being at night and being that they're not great flyers.
I saw that you had that as the base of the gumbo back at the camp. I had never seen that before. What are some people's first reaction when they taste it?
Yeah, so first reaction when you taste it is like, man, this is probably better than duck in a lot of ways, which is why all the old timers in Louisiana would wanted Pouldeau and not duck. They're mostly grass eaters where we hunt them in South Louisiana. They eat a lot of the same marsh grass that ducks do, except they really kind of gorge themselves on it. In a weird way, though, I will admit this. Even in a gumbo or anything like that, they don't taste as gamey as ducks, which I think a lot of people like. But they also have, and the best way I can say this is how it kind of tastes is grassiness to it. You can almost taste what they eat through their meat because they just eat so much of it. They really just sit on that water and do that. And like I said, they're not great flyers. So as they feed in those natural marsh grasses. And then when they're done feeding, when they sleep, they just kind of go 10, 15, 20 feet away into the high grasses and roost. So they roost in the same marsh where they kind of eat, where other ducks, they roost and feed in different locations. So I think that's why they're just always around it, that grass. And they kind of take on some of that, the grassiness of it. It's almost like romaine lettuce in a way. It's weird, but they're really tasty. And they get a bad rap throughout the whole waterfowl community. And I don't know where. What
water chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
That's what it translates into, right? Chicken of the
okay.
water. So pool would be chicken, and Delo or EAU is water. So when you watch them fly on the show, you see them. They kind of run on the water. They kind of skip, just like chickens do. Kind of when they're trying to fly, they kind of pedal they run with their feet while they flap to try to get off the ground. Like I said, they're not great flyers like chickens.
Patrick Kimmery inside of our chat app, he said he did say grass, right? Yes, he did say grass. They're eating grass.
Grass, not ass.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Cody Boudreaux, they also have the best gizzard, in my opinion, he says.
Absolutely, yeah. They have maybe twice as big a gizzards as ducks. I don't know the reason for that, but they are certainly, that's kind of a prized possession of the Pouldeau, or maybe like a little added bonus of them, is that the gizzards are actually worth cleaning because of their size, and you know what to do after that,
Absolutely.
Tenderize them, then fry them up or put them in your gumbo.
Patrick Kimmery also wants to know about odd food items in crawfish boils that are good, like artichoke, for example.
I was just about to say artichoke.
Yeah, I've had that before.
I saw somebody put a whole half gallon or gallon of pickled jalapenos in a crawfish boil before.
Wow.
And I actually thought, I was like, I can see how that works. Like, brightens it up, adds a little spice. You're not going to, just chow down on the jalapenos after it's in a crawfish boil. It's probably disintegrated. But,
good.
That's pretty interesting. You know what I used to do? I used to steal my mom's stockings. All right, now this is not going in the direction y'all hope it is.
I mean, from eating ass to stealing stockings, where are we going this morning, Chef?
and I'd get a whole half gallon of the minced garlic, and I'd throw that in the stocking, and I'd tie that stocking in a knot, and then I would tie that onto the handle of the crawfish boil, and then that gives you like an extra garlicky punch by putting that minced garlic in that stocking, and then it doesn't get all over your crawfish like those little minced little granules everywhere, which are kind of aggravating. So. Other odd things, man, I know I've seen a lot through the years, but none's coming to me. The artichokes came to mind as I was.
I've seen asparagus.
As you said it, which I completely agree. Yeah.
I have another crawfish question. Is it true that you can purge them in salt water before?
Absolutely.
But then does it kill them, and is that bad, or is that like an urban myth?
They're dying anyway,
Like
Katie.
dead crawfish.
Yeah. So my first job was at Express Seafood, which is no longer open. It's a little crawfish shack in Thibodeau, Louisiana. That was my first job over the summer. And I asked the same question, and I think there is some truth to it that if you put enough salt, it has an abrasiveness to it and can kind of scrub the outside of that crawfish. But if you hold them in salt water, they're not a saltwater species, and so they will die if you don't keep moving, like, getting that salt water in there and then draining them and putting more and, like, getting some fresh water, because they're not supposed to ingest that. I don't know the truth, like, if they sit in salt water, will they spit up the mud or clean out the internal vein? I wash them till the water runs clean with fresh water. But there's an interesting. I have a buddy that does this, and his crawfish are fantastic. He boils them. He washes them till it runs clean. Then he has two different pots. One is salted water, and one is seasoned water, just like how you would season it for a crawfish. One's just salted. And he boils the crawfish in salted water first till they're done, and then he takes the basket out and then soaks them in the spicy liquid and just let them sit there. And that first cook of that salted water really cleans them. And it looks like that in the water. The water is disgusting after, which makes you think, I've been doing it this way. And then he soaks them in, like, the fresh, clean water that has been spiced and not kind of polluted, if you will, with all that. And I'll tell you what, those crawfish are phenomenal. They're really good. And if you have if you can coordinate or set up a 2-pot system or a 2-burner system, I would recommend folks trying it. Nothing changes with the cook time or the soak time. It's just one pot is salted water, lightly salted water, by the way, lightly salted, and then the other pot is seasoned just like you would, and it's hot, but you never boil crawfish in them. You just soak the crawfish in them.
Is it a big deal to eat dead crawfish? I mean, I know they're dead, but, like, they say when the tail's straight, like, it was dead before and you shouldn't eat it. Is that a real deal?
No, it's not a big deal. That's another myth that it won't harm you unless the crawfish is a week old and you eat it, then it may give you a little stomach ache. But for the most part, that has to do with the structure and the protein of the crawfish, and it'll become mushy, and it won't, like, that tail won't pinch out. The meat won't pinch out that tail like a fresh curled crawfish tail would. Yeah. It'll kind of mush in your fingers, and then nobody likes mushy crawfish meat or any type of meat for that matter.
A Mississippi Delta girl on the questions there, Coach. Excuse the greenness of the crawfish questions.
I do have these questions. What's your
Mississippi boiled some crawfish, man, I tell you.
Yeah, we didn't. They do now, but I did not grow up boiling crawfish. What's your first memory of your love for cooking? Or, like, what made you decide to become a chef?
Wow, that's a question that probably is rooted somewhere while I was 5 or 6 years old, and kind of was nurtured through my time as a young boy through a teenager and adolescence. But one of my first memories of food, and I've told this story before, but just as much as I think about it, I can't go back any further than this. This is my memory. And my dad competed in the St. Philomena, which is in Labdeville, Louisiana, community fair cook-off. And he, Labdeville is what, 1,500, 2,000 people. It was the St. Philomena was the Catholic school I went to kindergarten in. So I was probably, before I started going to school in Thibodeau, I went to St. Philomena in those preschool years. And I can remember him making a rabbit sauce piquant, and he came in second. And he still has the cook-off apron that, like, the prize. It was like a prize second place St. Philomena Fair cook-off apron hanging in the kitchen. That's probably my first memory, and that's probably my first memory that resonated with me, that said there's something special about food, because I just remember vividly, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old, the expression on people's faces. I don't remember what they said. I remember what their faces looked like when they ate that dish. Now, he came in second, so God, the first place dish must have been knocking people on their back.
Such a cool memory, that you can remember that.
But I just remember their expressions on their face and how happy it made them. And I just, wow. In a lot of ways, I just wanted to make people happy that way. And I figured throughout my years of cooking with my mom and dad by their side through different special events, so on and so forth, that they always put on. They always had dinner parties or used to have big bonfires in Labadeville in our backyard with, it was a big ordeal. I had people from all over Louisiana cooking jambalayas and cracklings and hoghead cheese and barbecues and so on. And I just got really good at cooking, and I still kind of see those expressions of my 5-year-old self in those people's faces that I feed today, if that makes sense. Like I can still see those same expressions. And so, and I think that's what seeded my kind of this light bulb in my head as a young boy. Like, wow, food can really make people's day, right? People can be really happy from taking a bite of food. And I guess a little part of me even then wanted a piece of that.
Wow.
Chef, it's the most wonderful time of the year with March Madness going on. What are your go-to watch party foods?
Go-to watch party foods? Man, I've been, I think it's because I married a Midland girl from West Texas that I really started diving into like Tex-Mex things. Nice. And so I love food that, especially when I have a group of people at the house, that they can kind of make their own little things, right? Like
Yeah, you want to be able to watch the game, Coach.
Yeah, exactly. So I like kind of even making tacos or some type of fajita things and having a table full of, whether it's steak or chicken and all the different condiments and grilled tortillas and, different dips and so on. So I like food that people can make. Like I'll set them up for success for that table, and then they can go ahead and make their own perfect little bite on that plate or on that tortilla, or even different sushi. I've done that before, like having sushi rice and seaweed done and all the different fish cut and and boiled shrimp, and then people can make their own sushi rolls. And so I like things like that, and it gives people, they don't depend on me to have all the creativity and to just kind of feed them food. I've never looked at myself that way as a chef. I wanted people to kind of think creatively about the food they were ingesting. Even if I got to get them to a certain point on the table, they can kind of create what they want in their own hand.
Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois is with us here every Wednesday on the Jordy Culotta Show. You can find out more on what he's got going on online at jeanpaulbourgeois.com. You can follow Duck Camp Dinners on the Mossy Oak YouTube station, which is a great way to get back to South Louisiana. If you're listening to this outside of Louisiana and you want just a feel of home, Duck Camp Dinners will bring you right back down to South Louisiana with a great feel and great cooking and great camaraderie and friends that is being filmed there. One more from the listening crew asks, ask Chef, aged beef better in butter or MSG?
Aged beef better in butter or MSG?
Is that margarine?
I don't know.
Is that a trick question? Did we get tricked?
Monosodium glutamate?
I was kind of wondering. I was like,
did we get tricked by the internet?
Come on, Patrick.
Well, I'll answer the question. What I hope I'll answer the question with a real answer, and that is when you have aged beef, go ahead and trim off, get as much beef fat as you can, even from your butcher from that aged beef, or trim a little bit off. Render that down. Add a little bit of vegetable oil to it to stretch it out, some bay leaf, a little paprika, some crushed garlic. Render that down, get it hot, cool it down, and then once you grill your aged beef, rest it in that fat, not butter, not MSG or margarine or whatever. Rest it in aged beef fat, and then you can grill it, and that's your go-to chef hack for this morning. I will say one more thing for all you listeners. If you're watching Duck Camp Dinners, you see me cook with a number of blends from Spiceology. I have 6 blends on the Spiceology website. Just go to spiceology.com under collaborations, search for my pretty mug on the website, click on it, and you'll see 6 blends created by me, and they're super easy. Wild game, fish, and 4 unique sausage blends that you can use, not just for sausage, but for everything. And you can cook like me at home, and you don't have to worry about MSG or beef fat or whatever. Just sprinkle that on and have a good time.
How about an Instagram account on that too, right? Spiceology?
Yes, ma'am. Spiceology.com or at Spiceology.
One more, Chef, to get before we chat. How about on your menu? What you cooking this week? Anything that you cooked this week that stood out?
Whoa, super excellent question. Actually, I'm actually going to a Vietnamese market this morning and picking up palm sugar, fish sauce, some chili flakes, some lemongrass, Thai basil, and so on. I'm going to recreate kind of a surf and turf style recreate one of my kind of favorite Vietnamese dishes, which is basically a marinated beef with all those ingredients that's then grilled and eaten over vermicelli noodles with cucumbers and carrots, and then also grilled soft shell crab in that same bowl. So I have like a surf and turf version of one of my favorite Vietnamese dishes. I'm missing Vietnam so much. We were supposed to go for 2 months, my wife and I. All this got canceled, and so the Vietnamese tourism board has actually asked me to submit a recipe that I love about Vietnam, and so that's what I'm going to cook this week, actually today.
The man, Jean-Paul Bourgeois, chef from South Louisiana, the Thibodaux area. You can get all the information like spiceology.com, but to keep up with what he's got going on, JeanPaulBourgeois.com. Duck Camp Dinners is on the Mossy Oak YouTube station, and every Wednesday you can catch him right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We love the conversation. We love the love the segment. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you, guys. Have a good morning.
Bye.
Yes, sir. There
Bye.
he is, Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois checking in from the crew and from Clearwater, Florida this morning as we roll on here on the Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you daily by Edward Jones. Remember, stop in and see Daniel Newman and the crew over at Edward Jones, conveniently located for you over there in central Louisiana, right across from Stabs, as you can stop in and see them over at Marketplace. Stop in and see the crew over at Edward Jones. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com is how you can get in touch with him from an email standpoint. Get in touch with Daniel today if you need any help on your 401k, anything from a financial question that you might have. Daniel can help you out, as the phone number is pretty easy as well, as you can get in touch with him at 225-261-8262, 261-8262, 225 area code to get in touch with Daniel over at Edward Jones. He's going to make sense of investing, and he can help you out with life after work, with whatever's going on from a 401k standpoint, from an investment standpoint, from Social Security. Every question that you have about your finances, Daniel Newman can take care of. There's our majestic coffee
Right on time.
Going off, which means that it is WCW. That means that we are getting set up for the GritIron Show. And repping the crew today is their own Abby Alonzo. 2 shows in, and it has been fantastic, homie. How is the vibes around the GritIron Show right now?
We're getting some serious support. Actually, I did some color commentating for VSN yesterday.
Saw that.
And they were interviewing me.
Love the
about
pullover, bro.
Oh,
The
yeah.
baby blue looks
It's a nice
spectacular.
color.
Yeah.
I love it.
Eric Ritchie, large, please, at the undisclosed location.
Yeah, but you gotta get the nails to match, dude. She knew what she was getting into.
Nails.
Yes.
It was an accident. I did not plan that. It
Wow.
was an accident.
But everywhere I've been in the community over the last week and a half, I'm telling you, this is no exaggeration. Somebody has made a comment about what y'all are doing, whether it's on social media or the people that y'all are talking to.
We have gotten incredible support from everyone. I've heard nothing but good things. I mean, even I've got people in Nashville now because I got back from my girls' trip, but I was repping over there.
Saw that.
We've got people listening over in Tennessee now, so people are loving it. I love it.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see what we're going to do in the future. Episode 2, featuring Megan Making Money, is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google.
Yep.
And a new episode drops every Monday. So if you're not already following us, make sure to follow us at GritIron Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Monday's episode is going to feature New Orleans Saints reporter with NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, Amy Just.
Yes.
She touches a little bit on Thomas Morstead's departure from the Saints and why that kind of stuff happens, progress in women's sports, and how we're taking steps, but we're not quite there yet. And a touching story she got to write about Demario Davis's daughter that she loves and wants to share with us. So pretty interesting stuff on Monday.
Amy is spectacular in her work and what she does. I mean, she is relentless in finding all of what goes into creating the story that she writes. I mean, there is really, when you read her work, it is very thorough. The details that she goes into to building her stories. That Demario Davis one stands out, but they're all pretty much the same in the intensity and the effort that she puts in. If nothing else, I love hearing her perspective on that, on the fact-finding missions that she goes on and creating her story. But she is definitely a female in an environment that is kind of creating her own way. I mean, she's carving her own road and doing great work. So I look forward to that conversation on Monday. And then Kim Mulkey, the Baylor coach. She is one of my
Crush
favorites,
Wednesday.
of course. I mean, not only her love for Italians, as she is very open about, but a South Louisiana native. And, I mean, the success rate, when they were talking about moving Oliva out of the athletics director role at LSU, the first name that popped to mind for me was Kim Mulkey. And we actually asked her on air if she would ever be interested, not in the LSU role, you couldn't ask it like that, but just life after basketball, what is it? Because she's an ass kicker. I mean, a total ass kicker. She dominated the boys' leagues in Hammond growing up. Like, was the best point guard, shortstop in the city. Like, it didn't matter who you asked. I could go on about her for days, but I know she's coming up too.
Yeah, she's our Woman Crush Wednesday today. Obviously, Baylor won their 9th Big 12 championship in the past 10 years. And I really want to say the only reason they don't have 10 is probably because COVID happened.
No, not probably. It is.
No, it is.
I mean, they were loaded last year.
Yeah, no, to say the least. And they are the 2 seed in the women's NCAA basketball tournament. I believe they play Jackson State, the 15th seed, and that'll take place in San Antonio.
Nice. She's the best. Y'all are doing great work.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Very glad that we are working together, that you are representing the Jordy Culotta Show and the GritIron Show. The social media, I told Whitney this, and what you all are doing is fantastic, and it's creating a buzz, and it's creating people talking and people wanting to know what's going on, and you're creating habits for people because they expect it to be there every day. And what y'all are doing differently than 85 to 90% of the crowd, no matter, you can do the research on this stuff. The hardest part about social media building, your platform, your personality, your product, whatever you're trying to do there, is the commitment of being there every day. And they are there, like she just said, like Abby said, she was on a girls trip in Nashville. I saw the post from the car.
The whole trip.
Yeah, I mean it was, but the commitment to be there every day is the most difficult part about that, and y'all have made that look easy when that is very tough to do.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Abby Alonso from the GritIron Show. Make sure and follow them on all the social media platforms. Keep up with what's going on there. There is the coach, Kim Mulkey, as she is our feature here on WCW. All right, that does it for us today. That was a strong performance here on this Wednesday. Appreciate Brad Johnson for stopping by. Good conversation as Johnson, the former Super Bowl winning quarterback, stopped in today and was talking about Max, was talking about everything that was going on in the offseason and going into another year 2 for Max, and even some of the stuff like reciting we didn't talk about that. I mean, what about him reciting Gruden's play,
goodness.
bro?
I thought we'd get a simple Spider 2 wide banana, but he has, full-blown plays.
I mean, let me take you back to Philly in 2001? Yeah, 2001. I mean,
look at our callback.
That was incredible the way he was able to pull that back like that real time. And I appreciate him for stopping in. Remember, every day we're brought to you by Elevate Treatment and Legacy Center, located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, right off of Jefferson Highway. Drug and alcohol rehab center right here in the capital city. And Elevate is dedicated to treating their patients who are battling drug addiction and alcohol addiction. Their goal is to guide you in your steps towards recovery and help you achieve and maintain sobriety. You can log online to elevatetreatment.com. That's ELEV 8, the number 8, treatment.com. If you see right over my shoulder, right here, that is their logo that you see on our door under our basketball goal. Elevatetreatment.com to get in touch with what's going on over there at Elevate Treatment. Super friendly. I know that this process can be difficult, both in the decision-making process and crossing that threshold to making the decision to just doing it, to going into the facility. Katie and I have both been there. It is a very inviting facility. The people that are talking to you are very experienced in this field. Stop in, or at least just log online. Click on elevatetreatment.com. It's ELEV, the number 8, treatment.com to find out more. Drug and alcohol rehab center right here in Baton Rouge that can take care of you today. elevatetreatment.com. Thanks to everybody for their interaction on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, like comment, share the post on what we have going on here. The conversation with Will Wade this morning was fantastic, as he gave you a little insight to what was going on and some of that pre-production stuff with Dick Vitale and ESPN, how they're getting prepared for St. Bonaventure's on Saturday. Nikki, grab me a couple of the basketballs back here, if you don't mind. Let's see if we can't give Abby a shot here at Sammy's fat head to see if we can't get some people qualified here on Harper's Haberdashery. You see the goal up there.
I see it.
You see Harper's logo, the big H's on the outside.
Really nervous.
You don't
None
really.
of us have made a goal.
We haven't made one yet.
Yeah, you're not
so
up against
no pressure. You could become a hero if you make one.
Really could for some lucky person.
Chris Jarrell was our last winner. Patrick Kimry has really been nice in his interaction today. We pulled a lot of his questions. So Kimry, this shot is for you. Remember, Sam Willard over at Harper's Haberdashery, Highland Road Shopping Center. Stop in and see him. How we feeling? Good form to start off with. All right, let's go. Let's see what you got. All right, not bad. Here we go. Coming back at you. You got three of them. Quick shots.
Catch and shoot.
All right. Yo!
Really
0 for 3. Feeling nice today. Patrick Kimry, you know what? Stop in and see Sam Willard over at Harper's. Make sure you're following Harper's Haberdashery on Instagram. Harper's BR is where you can find them there. Tell Sam that you heard it on the Jordy Culotta show. Tell him Abby went 0 for 3. We hadn't made a shot yet. I think the head's too big, Sam. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard this in your life. The head might be too big on the back of the goal. I mean, it's enormous, the sticker that we got from Harper's Haberdashery. Stop in and see him. Kimry, you got $250 over there. We'll send the name over. Tell him you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thanks to everybody out there. Get online, jordyculotta.show.com. Get your bracket in. Remember to get into the bracket challenge presented by Just Winging It. Have a great Wednesday. Stay safe. Wet streets.